Hey everybody, what's going on? It is James here with Crypto Common Sense. Wanted to shoot a video for you. It's about 6 a.m. I got up a couple of hours ago, had a really good night's sleep, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But let's talk about the market. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about how my trading went this week, and just gonna have a fun talk today. All right. If you guys enjoy these videos, please do me a huge favor: hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So first things first. Holy shit, guys. I was really wrong on my last video. So I said I expected a pump, but I didn't want to fight the trend. Hindsight being 2020, I wish I had fought the trend. Who expected a 40% pump? I don't think anybody did. In yesterday's video, I said that I thought it might go as high as 8,500 to 8,800. Again, wrong. I shorted it aggressively at those levels, and it actually did pull back some from my short, and I had a chance to actually take some profits, and I didn't do it, and as a result I got smashed. So first off, I went short down around 7,900, which was like a monthly resistance level, got stopped out. Went short again around 8,300, got stopped out. Went short again around 8,800, got stopped out. Went short again at 8,900, got stopped out. And that is where I called it a day. I figured 4 times getting stopped out, get out of the way of the train. The first couple trades were small losses, but the last couple were bigger losses because it went up so fast, and I didn't have a stop loss in there. I was just watching it, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I literally got up, went and put my shoes on, came back, and I was down several $1,000, and I was like, what just happened? And even though I felt like, I was like, you know what, 99%, this is going to come right back down, it didn't matter. I couldn't take the risk of it continuing to run, so I had to eat those losses. So yes, yesterday was literally the worst trading day that I've had in, since May of 2018. That was the last time I had a trade day this bad. Lost literally 5% of my portfolio. Was just really bad. I had to get away from the desk last night. I went and took like a 45-minute drive and thought, where did I go wrong here? So I want to talk about where I went wrong so that you can learn from it, and then we're also going to talk about the Bitcoin charts. So where I went wrong was, guys, I had said in my previous video that I wasn't going to do any swing trades. I was just going to day trade until the market figured out what it wanted to do. I got greedy, right? You can FOMO into a long position, everybody knows that, but you can also FOMO into a short position. And I FOMO'd into a short. I was so sure that this thing was going down to like $6,000 or lower that I didn't want to miss my opportunity to get in. So that's why I kept jumping back into the market after getting stopped out. I get back in, get stopped out, get back in. And any one of those trades by itself wouldn't have been that big of a problem. But when you take 4 losing trades in a row, even if you're taking 1%, 1.5% loss per trade, it adds up big time. So, don't do that, right? Make sure you stick to your plan. Don't get greedy, whether it's going long or going short, because it ends badly. And it almost always ends badly, okay? Second thing I want to talk about is I'm getting a ton of shit from people about being wrong. And that's odd to me because I've been right for 4 months. So people will listen to your calls and they'll be happy with you as long as you're right. But the first time that you really blow a call, all of a sudden you're a bad guy, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I'm not saying it on YouTube. I'm saying it mainly on Twitter. So I'm just going to say this, guys. Like, there's a lot of people that are gloating, saying, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. I still don't think that Bitcoin is done dropping. I have to wait and see where the weekly closes at. I'm going to look at the charts and go through those in just a second. But right now I'm still bearish, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. But even if I'm wrong, if I have to buy back my Bitcoin at $9,300, which is where it's at right now, I'm going to be able to buy back 55% more Bitcoin than what I sold, okay, from my trading gains. So yes, my average sell price on my Bitcoin was 8,800. So I'll take a loss on that trade if I have to. But my other trading gains from moving in and out of the market as a bear, from shorting this over and over and over again, I can buy back 55% more Bitcoin than I sold. So, this idea that you shouldn't trade, or that somehow being a bear is a bad thing, or being a bear, haha, you got wrecked. I didn't get wrecked. The 5% that I lost was gains, right? So it's kind of like, if I give you 5 cheeseburgers and I take 1 away, or if I give you 100 cheeseburgers, and I take 5 away, you still got 95 cheeseburgers you didn't have, right? I'm a fat guy, so I love cheeseburgers. But my point being is, it's not any less painful for me, but yeah, I'm still up. I still believe that trading is the way to go, and I still believe that playing this as a bear was the right decision. So let's look at the charts. Well, this is the descending triangle. This is the bigger descending triangle from June until now. And you can see that I expected it to stop here, right? This is one reason that I got really, really smashed, because I thought worst case this thing is going to go up, tag the top of this descending triangle, and then come back down. Instead, it had a stop run all the way up here to 10.5 or 10.6. And somebody asked me today, they said, didn't you short it at 10.6? No, I didn't. There was no reason to short it there, right? Yeah, in hindsight, it's like, okay, well, that's an obvious play. There's resistance. Okay, well, this was an obvious play at 10.1. This was an obvious play at 9,800. This was an obvious play at 9,500, right? Those were all resistance levels. And it was just chewing through those like butter. So I had no way of knowing where it was going to stop. And there was no bearish divergences. There was no setups that came in. So I actually got stopped out and watched the thing go up. And I was very tempted to take that 5th trade. But luckily, maybe not luckily, I had to get away from the desk, right? Maybe I would have gambled up here and maybe it would have went my way, but maybe not. But the thing is, the reason I'm pointing out this chart is because everybody's getting really, really cocky on the bull side. And they think we're in a new bull market. They think that the bottom is in. And it could be. And by the way, guys, I said that a week ago. I said that it was only 70-30. That once we got down to 61.8 fib, and once we put in this bullish divergence, I said, I was, instead of being like really, really confident, I was only about 70-30 that maybe we were still going to go down, and maybe 30% that we would go up, or 30% that the bottom was in. So the bottom could be in, right? This is a really strong move. And if you look at a monthly chart, that candle looks, I know it's a lower low, or excuse me, a lower high, but that candle looks really bullish to me. It almost looks like we're going to do this, right? If this was a smaller time frame, like an hourly chart, this is what I would expect. I would expect a leg up, a bull flag, and then another leg up. So I am watching that monthly with a lot of interest. We still have 5 days left in the month. A lot can happen. This can pull way back down here, and then that wouldn't look bullish to me. Okay. The other thing that we have to keep in mind is the CME chart, right? If we look at the CME chart, which I had pulled up, where the hell did it go? I don't know. My chart has disappeared. Okay, well, that's weird. Maybe I closed it accidentally. If we look at the CME chart, the futures chart, it closed yesterday around $8,700. Okay. See this? It closed at $8,715. So right now, price is up here at 92.81, up in this area. So if price doesn't come back down to this level by tomorrow evening, when CME reopens, let's just say price is up. Let's just say that price is sitting at $9,300 when the CME opens. We're going to have this big gap. It's going to be an open air gap, just like one of these types of gaps over here. And then everybody will be talking about coming down to fill in that gap. Okay. So I'm still bearish based on that, because the CME tends to have a way of dictating where the market goes a little bit. I'm also bearish if you look at the weekly chart on BitMEX. Guys, look, we've tucked back inside of our triangle. You see this? This looks like a false break, like a bull trap, and now we're right back inside the triangle. And not only that, guys, but if we look at a bigger picture chart and we take a look, remember this 21 weekly moving average? A lot of people had stopped talking about it, myself included, because we were so far away from it, right? This was supposedly the bull bear line, right? It acted as support in a bull market, acted as resistance in a bear market. We had false breaks above it. See this here? We had a false break here. Well, so far this week, we had a false break above it, and now we're back underneath it. So this could be one big bull trap. Also, the thing I want to point out is, guys, people are talking about this rally like it's never happened. Like this is impossible to go up 44% in a single week in a bear market. Oh, it can't be a bear market. We went up 44%. First of all, we're not up 44%. That was from wick to tail. From the open to the top of the wick was 27%, and from the open to where we're at now is only 12%. Okay, but all that aside, everyone will agree that from here to here was a bear market, right? Yet check this out. Right here we had a 58% pump. Right here we had a 37% pump. Right here we had a 44% pump. Right here we had a 100% pump. And right here we had a, if I can get down to tail, a 52% pump. All those happened in a bear market. So the fact that we went up 44% doesn't negate the fact that we could actually be in a bear market, and I do believe we are. Okay, still believe we're in a bear market. Like I said, on the daily we're up above this triangle, so it's important to watch that. On the weekly, it shows that we're inside the triangle. This is actually on Coinbase here, so on Coinbase it's outside the triangle, but over on BitMEX, which we know is one of the places where the market really gets controlled because of the large amounts of money being traded there. We're actually tucked inside there. Maybe we're in there on a daily. Hell, we're even in there on a daily. Look at this, right? How nasty would this be if this was just one giant liquidation event, right? Cost me money. I'll never get it. I'll never get that money back. I can make more money, new money, but that money is gone forever. Those are realized losses on my part, right? But imagine all the people who just bought Bitcoin at 10 grand, FOMO back in. They're already down. If they bought up here at the top, they're already down double digits. So I don't know, but I'm still bearish. Okay. When we look at the, again, 21-week moving average, we're underneath it. On the bull side of things, if we look at the 200 daily, which is what I was really interested in, we're well above it. Well above it, right? 200 daily is right around $8,900. We're up here at 92.58. But again, $8,900, guys. If we come back down and fill in the CME gap at 8,700, we're going to be back underneath that 200 moving average. And again, in bear markets, there were definitely, look at this. In February of 2018, it did break above the 200, came right back down inside of it, right? It had this one huge fake out, and this fake out was, I remember this fake out. This is where I actually bought a bunch of Bitcoin. I got totally screwed by buying Bitcoin there. But, it could be that we're seeing that all over again. Okay. The other thing to keep in mind here is we do have a bear cross. I know people are laughing about it now. They're like, oh, I don't care about no bear cross, right? Guys, we still have it, whether you want to believe it or not. If you look over here, right, look at the numbers here. Our 50 moving average is sitting at $8,895. Our 200 moving average is sitting at $8,922. So that's a bear cross, right? And this could be, again, one giant fake out, all right? So am I buying back my Bitcoin? No, I'm still not buying my Bitcoin back, right? It can change. If this weekly has a really strong close, if we close above 9,500 on the weekly, I can't say for sure because it's hard for me to accept that I would need to buy there, but I would have to really consider buying Bitcoin if I wanted to hold Bitcoin, if I wanted to ride Bitcoin on the next uptrend. If we close above 9,500, I might have to concede that I was wrong and that this is indeed not a bear market anymore, right? I still believe it was a bear market this whole 4 months. It was. That's not up for debate. It's a bear market, but it might have been the bottom, okay? So we'll have to see where this candle closes. But again, if I look at the monthly, unless this candle really comes back down, this thing looks bullish. It's all get out. Up, down, up, right? Just had a spider on my arm. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with Bitcoin. The altcoins, they pumped with Bitcoin as far as US dollar values, but most of the altcoins just bled out heavily compared to Bitcoin. Like, I didn't look at all of them, but if you just look at Litecoin as an example, like I know everybody was probably pretty stoked that their Litecoin went all the way up to $64.40 yesterday, which is just insane. But look, first of all, look at that. That is one of the nastiest shooting stars I've seen, right? That is a nasty, nasty candle that won't close for another 13 hours or 12 hours or so. So a lot can happen. But if that closes like that, ooh, that's rough. If we look at Litecoin versus Bitcoin, though, and I think most alts did this yesterday, they just, bam, right? Money flowed out of the alts and into Bitcoin. bam, 13% drop. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I was feeling pretty beat up yesterday. I was really, it was the most emotional I've been because it was just such a devastating loss, right? And the thing that made it worse, quite honestly, is I still believe I'm right. I still believe the market's going to go down, and it's just a matter of timing is everything, right? You can have good technical analysis, you can have good risk management, you can have good control over your emotional state, but if you get the timing wrong on your trade, you can be right and still lose a ton of money, right? And I do think I'm right. Until proven otherwise, I think this is a bear market, okay? So it's going to be very, very bittersweet if Bitcoin does suddenly pull back to 8,000, 7,000, 6,000, or even lower. And here I just took a massive, massive loss on a short position. So that is trading, though. One other thing I wanted to point out, and then I'll go ahead and wrap this video up. Guys, if we draw a Fibonacci level from the top of this move over here in June to the bottom of the move over here in October, you can see that this actually came up and tagged the 50 Fibonacci level perfectly. And a lot of times what that ends up being is that ends up being a trend continuation. So it could be that this was down, this was up, and this was down, okay, or will be down. So again, there's just so many conflicting stories right now. We're just going to have to wait, or at least I'm going to have to wait, and I'm going to have to see where today closes at. But more importantly, I've got to see where the week closes at, and I might honestly just sit out until the monthly close. Day trading is fine as long as I stick to that, right, and don't do what I did yesterday, which is get stupid. I had a really good day trade yesterday morning, right? I shorted it around 9,500 bucks. And I actually made a really nice day trade, and then next thing you know, I'm swing trading again. So we'll see. We'll see. And if suddenly we start getting bearish divergences popping in, then yeah, I'll take another swing trade if the opportunity presents itself. But I'm not going to chase it. One other thing, I talked about this about a month ago, and again, this has to do with timing. Remember, I said that we're not supposed to go under this red line. Well, now it's. Well, oh, I had it turned off. I was wondering where my red line went. Hang on, let me get. Oh, goodness. Okay. Anyway, my chart got messed up there. So remember, we had this red line, and I said, in a bull market, we're not supposed to go below this line, and that we need to come back up and retest it. This is where I screwed up, guys. I didn't stick to the plan. If I had just waited until RSI came back up to test this line, right? I kept talking about us needing to retest 9,100 through 9,500. And that we need to retest this line. If I would have just waited instead of getting, arrogant and complacent, I got complacent down here, shorting this thing, at 7,900 and 8,800 and everything. I should have waited until the RSI came up and touched this line. And if I had, then I could have been short at 10,000 or 10,500, and I'd already be up, huge right now. But instead, I rushed in. My timing was off, and as a result, I paid the price. But again, this is bear market territory. The line did indeed act as resistance, just like it did over here in 2018, right? And we went up. We had this huge pump, 100% pump in February, tagged that line, and then we had further downside. So until we close above that RSI, that's one other line that I'm watching. And to me, that looks like a bear market still, okay? I probably forgot something in this video, but I think I covered a fair amount. If you have any questions, be sure and let me know. And as always, please remember I am literally some guy sitting in a spare bedroom, so nothing in this video is financial advice. Nothing in this video is trading advice. You should always do your own due diligence and seek out professional investment advice before making any type of investment. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, you can check the description for links where you can follow me on TradingView, Twitter, and where you can join my free Facebook group. This is James with Crypto Common Sense. Trade safe.